Have you ever seen the cast of a movie and thought, this movie has potential just because of who is starring in it? And then the movie has come out and you've seen the reviews and you've thought, how the hell did you get this so wrong considering your star power in this? That's The Bad Batch from 2016, because the reviews for this movie are mostly neutral to low. And when I say, how the hell did you get this movie wrong? I mean, the cast in this movie is Jason Momoa, Keanu Reeves, Suki Waterhouse, and Jim Carrey. How do you get this so wrong? But if you don't know anything about The Bad Batch from 2016, let me quickly fill you in. The Bad Batch from 2016 is a cannibal horror thriller. Arlen is left in a Texas wasteland fenced off from civilization. When trying to navigate the unforgiving landscape, Arlen is captured by a band of cannibals led by the mysterious Miami Man. With her life on the line, she makes her way to a bizarre settlement run by a charismatic leader known as the Dream. As she adjusts to life in the Bad Batch, Arlen discovers that being good and being bad mostly depends on who is standing next to you. If you're new here, I go by Hordes, and if you're not new, welcome back. I talk about horror movies here on my channel on Mondays and Fridays, but as always when it comes to watching movies that I have never seen before, I am now going to go and watch The Bad Batch from 2016 off camera. So that way, if you two decide that you want to watch this cannibal wasteland movie, nothing will be spoilt for you, because nobody wants to watch a movie you've just watched somebody else watch from start to finish, because then you're going to know exactly what happens, and I keep it spoiler free here on my channel.
You lied to me.
Oh, I figured out very quickly why this one gets really bad reviews. Let's just say, when your script is missing substance, any kind of substance, and you still decide to make your movie 2 hours long, at this point it is just pure self-indulgence, because yes, the director also wrote this damn movie. You could take all the dialogue in this and condense it down to 3 pages, and the rest of the movie is just ASMR ambient noises. Like, I've gained 2 more birthdays since starting watching this movie. That's how damn long it was. So, shall we start the rant review?
You're in for a treat.
I knew that the character of Arlen was gonna get an arm and a leg chopped off at some point in this movie. Why? Because it's in the synopsis provided by the damn distribution company. That's how. And to say that this happens slightly faster than I was expecting would be an understatement, because this happens in the first 10 minutes, and I kid you not. It starts off and there is a sign when Arlen enters the wasteland that is basically along the lines of, this ain't America no more, what happens here is not America's problem. And that's it. Nothing about the wasteland is established. You don't know why the wasteland was created, why it's there, who is in the wasteland, why these people go to the wasteland. None of this is established before she gets kidnapped and an arm and a leg get cut off. Like, that's the first 10 minutes.
Who are these people?
It is like the director heard about a little place in the US called Slab City in California, which is a lawless off-grid community which in the winter houses about 4,000 transients, and in the summer only about 150 because it gets so damn hot. It's like she heard about this place and then took all the negative things that you hear about Slab City, like the murders, the fact that it has got one of the highest uses of methamphetamine, it has got the highest arson rates in the county, took all of that and then made the most boring script that you could ever imagine and mixed it in with low budget Burning Man at one point, because there's a scene in this that involves a rave and it's purely there. It has no purpose whatsoever than to basically let the editor be like, look, I know how to use all of the pre-installed stuff on Adobe Premiere. And don't even get me started on the ending in this. So we'll move on to the characters, because how did you get these actors to sign on to this movie. I hope it was a massive, massive paycheck, because I can't see how the script was the selling point for this one. So, Keanu Reeves' character, he is basically Kent Rosenberg from GTA Vice City. If you've played it, it's Tommy Vercetti's lawyer, but he's got an 80s porno mustache. That's basically his character. Then you've got Jim Carrey, and he turns up every now and then and grins in his NASA hat and then disappears for a bit, pushing his grocery cart. And then you've got Jason Momoa, who is basically Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns when Paul Heyman is speaking on behalf of Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns isn't even there. Like, he's purely there for people who like muscly men to look at. He's there to look pretty. That's Jason Momoa's part in this. And then Suki Waterhouse's character, Arlen, is like a non-verbal protagonist from a PS2 game where they decided that they wanted to save the space, because when you've only got 4.7 gigabytes of disk space, you kind of don't want to include unnecessary dialogue. She's the lady version of Claude from GTA 3, but if Claude only killed 2 people, and only 3 people actually get killed in this entire movie, and Jason Momoa does the other one. Like, it's not a horror movie, and I'm going to die on this, because this movie had a $6 million budget. That's a 6 with 6 zeros after it. That is an astronomical movie budget. And I can't tell you where the budget went in this, because they didn't build any sets for this. If you look it up, they used ghost towns that were already pre-existing, and they actually shot in a desert. So unless they were buying aeroplane wreckages for fun, I have no idea where the budget went in this. I hope it was on everybody's paychecks. I hope everybody got a massive, massive paycheck for this. The budget certainly did not go on Jim Carrey's fake teeth in this, and they did not go on Jason Momoa's fake tattoos, because it is so clear at one point that they are Sharpie, because they are smudged. It is the slowest, longest movie that I have watched in months. And I would be lying to you if I came on here and was like, yeah, it's a great movie, you should go and watch it, because it's really not. Like, this is 2 hours that I am never going to get back. And the selling point of this movie, and I'm going to spoil this because I think if this is the reason you want to watch this movie, you need to know. The cannibals in this movie are in the first 10 minutes. And you know when they disappear? After the first 10 minutes, and they disappear out of this movie faster than my bank account during Halloween season. That is how, like, they're there and then they're not there. They have no impact whatsoever, besides the fact that they are the reason that Arlen loses a leg. Like, you could write the word cannibal out of it, because it's a buzzword, and it'd still be the same plot. Like, you could have it that they cut off her arm and her leg to keep her as a prisoner so she couldn't have escaped, but that doesn't sound as interesting as, oh, and then they ate them, which you never actually see.
Are you serious?
If I hadn't been reviewing this, I would have turned the movie off 15 minutes in, just waiting for something to happen. And I kid you not, with this, I watched this movie on my PS4. And at one point, my PS4 froze, and I was staring at Suki Waterhouse's smiley-faced arse shorts for about 30 seconds before I realised that the movie had actually frozen. I thought it was one of these weird-ass edits again. Like, that's how bad this movie is. I'm going to give The Bad Batch from 2016 a 1 out of 5 stars, and the only reason that they are getting that is because visually it is not horrible to look at. Like, it's quite nicely lit, so whoever was in charge of the camera work in this, props to you, you can have the 1 star. But this movie is a liar, and I am going to call it out for what it is. Like, you put the buzzword of cannibals in your description for a reason. This is not a horror movie. After that first 10 minutes, there is nothing about this movie that says it's a horror movie. It is a girl wandering around in a desert, having an acid trip at a bad version of Burning Man, and meeting the man in charge of the group that cut her arm and leg off, and they go wandering around for a child in the middle of it. That's the movie. Like, you lied, and I'm mad about this. I am actually furious about this, because there are so many creators out there who would love a tiny, tiny percentage of that $6 million, like $6 million budget. $6 million is insane. And it went to this. I am fuming, and I do not want people to watch this movie expecting it to be a cannibal movie, because it's not. Because the director of this movie / writer is either sailing down the Denial River or is coasting down its twin, the Delusion. So there you have it, my initial thoughts and my review for my first time watching The Bad Batch from 2016. No, I will not be watching this movie ever again, and it may even turn up on an 8 movies that I am never going to rewatch video at some point in the future. If you've seen this movie, I would love to know what your thoughts and opinions are on it down in the comment section down below. Is this one that you are going to skip, or if this is one that you would still be interested in watching despite me ranting about it the entire time? I will leave a link to justwatch.com in my description bar so you can find out where it is streaming in your country. I believe it is Netflix, like universally. If you would also like to know every single horror movie that I watch, though, not just the ones I talk about here on YouTube, you can also find me over on Instagram and Letterboxd at HordesOfHorror, and I swear I am not always this ranty here on YouTube, and if you feel like it, maybe stick around and join the Horde over here as well. And I will prove that I'm not always this ranty, because I'll be back on Monday with another solo movie review. And this time it is going to be a movie from the 90s, because I haven't watched one of these in a while. And if you didn't know, I am quite the fan of a little red-headed doll called Chucky. And there are quite a few demonic doll movies out there that are clearly inspired by Child's Play. And I found one about a little doll wearing a bright red dress that appeals to me because demon possession. So until next time, bye.